Hello and welcome to this video. This is the second in a series, and we are going to be looking at creating a wrapper for our website, which is going to allow us to narrow up the content so it's not extended all the way across the page. We're going to start applying some borders to things, and you're going to see some different ways of how you can apply borders to add some particular visual appeal to your web page. First thing we need to do is create this wrapper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Dreamweaver file, and I'm going to just go into my index page, and right inside the body, I'm just going to give myself a little room here, I'm going to create a div tag. Now a div tag is basically an empty box. It's just a tag that you can manipulate and put other things into it. So it really is an empty box. And this box is going to contain all of the content that shows up on our web page. So I'm going to do div, I'm going to type in ID, because this is going to be an ID style, equals wrapper. And then I'm going to close out that with that other little angled bracket. And because this particular box is going to hold everything that's in my website, I did it right inside the opening body tag. So now I need to scroll to the bottom to just inside my closing body tag and close that div. And sometimes it's helpful to leave a comment for yourself to remember what this closing tag is for. So I'm going to put in a note here that says this closes the wrapper. So there, for some of you who've been asking, what on earth do you use those comments for? This is one of the ways that we use comments. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go into my About and my Gallery and do the exact same thing. So now I've got all of that saved, but it's not going to do anything because I haven't actually created the style rule that goes with it. I just have it in place for when we start creating it. So now I need to go into my styles.css. I usually like to put my wrapper right up by the top of the page. So right under body, because body wraps around. I mean, that's everything that you see on the screen. So I like to usually make it the next thing that shows up. And because it's an ID style, we'll use the pound sign. And I'm just going to open and close it. So there's my wrapper style. There's nothing in it yet. So some of the things that we need to do is we have to give it a width. And the standard width of most websites is 960. So that's what I'm going to use. If I saved this and I've got all of my other HTML files saved, I can go back out to my browser and I can refresh, and you can see that it's shortened it up. There's the 960 pixels. You can see it by the background colors of my headers. But I don't like that it's all left justified. I would like this to be centered on my page. So I'm going to go back and add some things to my styles. We need to add a margin to the left. And it's going to be margin auto. And a margin to the right, which is also going to be auto. This is the standard that we use if we need to center a box. So in this case, the wrapper in the screen that it's on, we are going to be centering it. So now if I use margin left auto and margin right auto, and I have a width assigned, if I don't have a width, this margin left and right auto is not going to work. This is saved. I'm going to go back out to my browser and refresh. And now it's all centered. And now look, our bullet points don't appear that they're right close to the edge anymore. I'm going to do a couple other things here right now with my wrapper, just to add a little bit more visual appeal. And just like how we could apply, and we did in the last assignment, applied the background color, I can apply a background color to this particular div as well. So this ID is going to get a background color. And I'm just going to do white for this, just so we can see what's going on. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go out to my browser so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to refresh. So now this looks pretty good, but look at my text and my bullet points that come right up to the left edge, and my footer goes right up to the edge. I don't like that. So I'm actually going to add some padding to the inside of this box that is the wrapper. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into my wrapper and I'm going to do a padding. And I know that I like a little bit less padding on my top and bottom than I do on the left and right. So I'm going to do 10 pixels that'll be for the top and bottom, and 20 pixels that'll be for the right and the left. I'm going to save this, and now we'll see how things pull away from the edge. I'm going to refresh this page. There. If you wanted to, you could have had these go out, but then we would have had to adjust this and not using padding on the wrapper. But I wanted to have a little space in here. So now my footer sits a little bit apart. My text sits a little bit apart. This is looking better. And if I go to my About Me page, doesn't that look much better? And my image gallery page, it's still blank, but you can see that it's been applied. So we're going to go back to our home page. And now that we have that wrapper, it's starting to take a little bit of shape. But now we're going to start playing with some borders. So that's the other part of this particular video. Borders can be added to really any of the elements in the box model. So pretty much any element from the H1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, paragraphs, the div tags that we're creating. Any of these can have borders. What I'm showing you are the places that I'm going to want you to add borders, but just know for your own design projects later that you can add borders in any number of places. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a border to our wrapper. So I'm going to go into the wrapper. When creating a border, we need 3 particular elements to make our border work. The first of which is the border width. And in this case, I like to put in pixels, a pixel amount. You can see that Dreamweaver defaults to medium, thin, and thick, and I think that that's too vague. I like a little more control. So I'm just going to do a little 1 pixel border. The other thing that we need is the border style. And this one gives us a little bit of fun in that we can do dashed, we can do dotted, double, groove, hidden, meaning you don't want a border, and a few others. I'm just going with a solid here, which just means a solid straight line. So I'm going to pick solid. And the last thing that we need is a border color. And for this particular instance, I am going to use the border color BB4A37. And I'm going to save that. So now if I go back out to my browser and refresh, there you see I've got a nice little border. Now I noticed another problem. See how this butts up right to the top? I don't like that. So I'm going to have to give my wrapper a margin on the top. So let's go back to our wrapper, and we have margin left, we have margin right. I'm going to do a margin top, and we're going to just set it off by about 20 pixels. You can pick any number you want there. So I'm just going to go back out to my browser, see if we fix that problem. There we go. Now we have a nice little space up there, but now you can see that there's this pretty little 1 pixel border that goes all the way around. Okay, so that's pretty much it for our wrapper. So what else are we going to add a border to? Let's go pop back to the browser. One of the things that I wanted to put a border underneath here is my H3 that was used. So these are my 2 H3s. So let's go add a border to the bottom of those H3s. So I got to find my H3, and we can specify whether we want a border on the top, right, bottom, or left. So in this case, I just want to do a border bottom. And now I'm going to show you a shortcut. Remember up here with the wrapper we did border width, border style, border color. Well, we can do this in one easy little piece. We do it in the same order. So on my border bottom, I am going to tell that I want it to be 2 pixels. So there is my border width. Then the border style, I'm going to do dotted on this just for fun. And then I need to do a color. So these are the same things. It's just, sorry, I can't talk and type here at the same time. BB4A37. So here is the width that matches the border width. Here is the border style. It's the same that's right here. And here's the border color. That's the same as saying this, but we can do it in one shortcut by just giving it, we could also do border if we wanted it around all 4 sides. But we can say border bottom, give the width, the style, and the color. So now if I save this and go out to my browser and refresh, I have this nice little dotted line that goes all the way across under my H3s.